Hello guys, and welcome back to David's R&R. Today we're going to be fixing up, restoring this bike I got for free from a relative of mine. We're going to be fixing this up and getting it going again, So it's a little bit cold out, It's getting on close to December now, so all my videos are going to be pretty cold out here in the shop where there's no heat, you can tell. We got bare metal walls, so it's pretty cold in here. But I'm going to tough it out, make some videos for you guys. I'll be posting probably as often as normal. But yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so to start off this, we need to pack out some new inner tubes. I prefer using the Bell brand of inner tubes if I ever work on a bike. So let's get out our inner tubes. This was a 4-pack, but there's only 2 left because I've already used 2, so there's 2 more of these. Just enough for this build because both inner tubes did not come with this. It was just the bike, rim, and tire. So today we are going to be making sure everything works, shifting wise and such, and put new inner tubes in this thing. That way we can get out of the shop, not the storage area. So I have a lot more projects for you guys, which you're going to be seeing pretty soon. I may have already finished one of them, depending on how far I get today, because I record multiple videos in one day, so that's how it works around here. Alright, so your inner tube will come with a package like that with a band around it. Take off the band, and then you're left with this. Now, I forgot to air up my air compressor, so we'll see how long that takes, but I might be able to get it done with. Very nice. I like how they package these inner tubes. They package them very good. Let's see. All you're trying to do for the beginning part, whenever you get on the rim, you can't get on the rim with this flat. You gotta get some air in there. Now there's a little tip I know of that if you see, it won't work, but it won't work right now. I need to actually push air into the tire. Let's see if I can go get some air. I'm gonna air up these inner tubes and put a little bit of air in them, and then I'm going to show you guys how I put my inner tubes on my rims and how I put the tires on. That's a very important thing to know if you ever own a bike, which I bet almost all of you do, is to how to change your inner tubes, how to put on your tires, all that stuff. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Let me get some air in these. You need to have an air compressor. You need to get an air compressor if you're going to be doing this, or you can use a hand pump too, I guess. But I prefer using air compressor, and always air up tires to proper spec. Alright guys, so we got a little bit of air in our inner tube. It's on a little tiny bit, just enough to get it so it's not completely flat. And now we're going to take our rim, which I'm going to have to, no, I'm not going to have to because this already has them in it. I want to show you guys. Alright, look closely here. There is if you see, there's like a rubber piece here, and it goes over these spoke tops. And it's derailed, it's the perfect example. You can see how you don't see any spoke tops. Well, somewhere on this rim there. Where is that? I just saw it. Maybe it popped back. You probably can't tell, but right here, it's off the spoke tops. And this little rubber piece here, I don't know what you call it, but it's very important because without it, those spoke tops will poke through your inner tubes, and they will not last. And we change inner tubes about once a week. So yeah, you guys are gonna want to do that. Also, make sure whenever you put your tire on here that all of these, the rubber piece here covers all those spoke tops. See, it might tear like this one just tore, but it's okay if it tears because if it has to be on a, it's okay if it tears as long as you make sure that it's aligned and that whenever you put the inner tube on, it's still covering. If it does break like it did here, I would prefer to see how that, there we go, that's what I was looking at. See how those spoke tops aren't covered? I don't know if you visual focus or not, but those aren't covered, and that's a big problem whenever you gotta put this on. So if you break your little, I want to call it a bikini kind of here, it goes over your inner tubes. This one's really, really old, but yeah, just you make sure it's aligned. If it does break, you do have the option of putting it on, and you can use tape, which is what I'm going to probably end up using, is just some tape or something else like that. And if you tape it up right, then it probably will not give you any more problems ever until you change the inner tube again, if you ever have to. I might, for this rim, try to get a new bikini piece. So I'm probably not going to do this rear rim right now, but I will do the front one. So let's get the front one, let's inspect it, make sure it is on the screws, which it's not. None of these want to be on the screws. So let's see if I can carefully massage this. They're just so delicate. I think the screwdriver would be better go. Let's get on the inside of this rim here. You can see this thing does not want to budge to save its life. But, because see, it just wants to tear straight through. These are all shot. Holy moly. See, this one's going to do the same exact thing. This thing is shot. And honestly, it might be a good thing I have to replace them. Because they're all shot. These things have been sitting out in the weather without a tire on them. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to try to see if I can find some of those and throw on these tires. And I'll get back to you guys. Alright guys, I'm back, and I've got the, still good, see how they're all flexible, tire, or red bikinis. These things are dead shot, so I'm not going to use them. I'm probably just going to toss them, throw them away. Anyway, I'm going to find one of these, put it on, and see if we can get down to business. Gotta be very careful when you put these on, because you can tear them and such. Those other ones, I couldn't really help it. Those things were so dry rotted. I had to move them to get them over the spoke tops, and they were so dry rotted that there was no way it was going to happen. They were done. So anyway, so let's line these all up. Make sure that our bikini's kind of in the center here on everything. You want to make sure it's all center and covering the tops of most of the spokes. Alright, looks like we got it all lined up. Alright, let's get our inner tube on. Now we put only a little bit of air in this. So it should, by putting only a little bit of air in it, it's going to help you out a lot. Now, the best way to do this is on a bench, but I don't really have, my bench is covered right now. I'm trying to make space in the garage by doing this. So, there's water in these tires. Okay. Now, that's a great thing I forgot to tell you guys. If there is water in your tires, make sure it's all out, because if otherwise your tire's not going to be balanced, and it's just not going to be very good for you. Also, there's a spider web in here too. There's just lab, your spiders. You don't want the spider webs in there unless you can't avoid them, which we can avoid them by removing them. Like that. Kind of. There. That one came out. That's the one I'm really worried about. I'm worried about this. That's a huge spider web. But at least they come out easy. Alright, I think that's it for spider webs. And I think we got most of the water out. Maybe there's a tiny bit left. These tires surprisingly aren't weather checked, and I know why, because of the person I got this off of. He stored his tires underneath a deck, so that's where this whole thing was at, was underneath the deck. The deck will protect the tires from the sun, and it will keep them halfway good. But actually, I am going to switch this around. You can do it either way. It really doesn't matter too much. But for right now, I'm going to put the inner tube in the tire when I put it on. At least on this one. I'm going to show you how to do one, and then I'm going to do the other one. Front, back tire is the same thing. Putting the inner tube and tie it on. And then I'm going to bolt the rims onto the bike. I'm going to check the shifter and everything and the brakes, make sure it all works. And so that's going to be a wrap for this one. We're going to get this thing all buttoned up and make more room so I can get more videos up to you guys. I know there's not many of you right now, but you guys that do watch, I want to make content so that way you guys can learn. You're not going to be stranded in your life that you can't do anything. So many people nowadays, especially of my generation, my age, that cannot do anything to save their life. And it's sad. It's so sad to see it. Okay, a good tip when putting on these rims, stick your inner tube through the fill part, and then put the cap on. It can't come out. Gives you a easy route to getting this on. Let's see if you do all this correctly. You don't even need a bench if you do it right. What you might need though is some like toothbrush, something to wedge with, and see what this is gonna try to do on you. It's gonna try to be a squirrely son of a gun and come undone somewhere. If you can just manage to get there you go. You probably can't see this because it's below. I just have this on the ground and I'm pushing the tire over the rim. It's really not that hard. Some people are like, oh my gosh, it's a pain in the butt. I'm doing it with my bare hands right now. It's not that hard. So, there you go. Your tire's on your rim. Now you just gotta air it up. And how do I do that? Most people use screwdrivers because they're idiots. Put this cap on your inner tube. When you go to put your tire on, and it will make it a crap ton easier. Also, whenever you go to air this up, make sure your inner tube's straight. It's not at an angle. Now you can take the cap off. Grab your air. I don't know if I have enough here in the tank right now. But grab your air. Fill your tire up. Your fill tube might shrink back in there. That's okay. Grab your pliers or anything, be careful because it is brass. Cap threads on brass, so. Now, I kind of recommend, as a rule of thumb, that you always fill up your tire a little bit more than what the recommended PSI is. Now, for these, it says inflate to 50 PSI. So let's see if we're at 50 PSI. We're at like 15. This tire is super squishy right now. Just that the tires are hard. The inner tubes are filled up. It's just the tires are old and hard. So you gotta fill up your tire more, which I'm gonna fill it up, but you guys know how to mount the tires now. This tire's mounted, you can tell. And you can do it with your bare hands. You don't really need any tools to do this if you do it the right way. So yeah, make sure that bikini's on the rim. Whenever you put your inner tube on, put a little tiny bit of air in it before you put it on the rim. And honestly, I recommend putting the inner tube in the tire and then putting the inner tube with the tire on the rim. And first things first, whenever you're going to mount this on the rim, stick the fill part of your inner tube through the hole, put the cap on so it can't come off, and then just use your hands and pop it on. It's really that easy. And then put your air in. Fill it up all the way to spec, and you're done. So I'm going to do the back one, and then I'll get back to you guys. We'll bolt these tires on and see what else we have to deal with. Alright guys, so we got the tires aired up to spec, 50 pounds PSI, which is pretty standard for most of your tires. So we're going to go ahead and bolt these on. And hopefully we won't have any problems with the shifting or anything like that. Hopefully it all goes smooth and runs well. And then we'll be done with this bike. We can get out of the shop and I can work on some of the other goodies I've recently picked up. So let's get started. Most of your bike tire bolts on the outside here are going to be metric, because Chinese bikes are like the most common thing nowadays. So probably a 15 millimeter on average is what you're going to be using for this. So yeah, that's a little tip. Also, there's a tread pattern on your tire. Sometimes it's kind of hard to see, but it normally makes a little arrow here, and then that's how a tread's supposed to wear. So I don't really, no matter what, try to put your tread on the same direction. If you put it on backwards on one tire, put it on backwards on the other one to make it balanced, so they wear evenly. See, you might have to disconnect these brakes, maybe. But if so, that's okay. It's not that hard to do. I don't want to do it that way either. You know what? We're going to do it this way. The lazy man's way. We're just going to... This is the wrong tool, which I'm actually going to use the right tool for a change. These are probably like 11s, right? Yep. I believe. Or 10s. It's probably a 10. Okay, it's a 10. Alright, move this. And by doing that, you allow enough movement in your brake pad that you can get your brakes, your tire on normally. If so, you can, if you need to, you can always unbolt the whole thing. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to take the whole pad off. Now, probably the best way to do this is to have your bike on the ground so you can make sure your tire is centered based on the ground. But right now, I'm working off a bike stand, and I really don't want to take this thing off the bike stand. So, I'm going to do this. Make sure you keep that tire up. pushed up against the frame. So whenever you put on your wheel like I am now, it's nice and centered. Roll it, make sure it's centered. See, it looks just a little bit off. Just a little bit, just that little bit can mess it up. Make sure it's pretty tight. And then, see, by doing that, you may think, well, you can't get your brake pad on, right? No, you can't if you tilt it. So, I'm going to grab my 15 mil here, and I'm just going to start cranking down on these. You can use a socket, but I prefer to use a wrench because I just don't like stripping stuff out. And you don't need that much torque on them. It's not like you're doing an engine head or something like that. Just nice and snug is all you really need for these. If they're really nice and snug, you're not going to have any problem. So I just hand tight. I just go a little bit past snug. Put a little bit of torque on them. And that's it. Got yourself a tire on. So then what you do is you take your brake pad that you took off before, and you get down here and you tilt your brake pad a little bit. You sneak it in there like that. This one is set up more factory because of the relative I got this off of didn't use his bike very much. That's why I ended up getting rid of it. He disassembled it a long time ago. It sat underneath his porch for a while. I'm not one of them sub-bot people who gets his whole family to. Well, I'm not one of those people that's just like, oh, get my whole family to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's just kind of weird, I think. Okay, let's see if these brakes work. Yeah, they work. Let's see. I don't know if I really like the positioning of his brakes, but no, he doesn't have his brake levers tight. Yeah, let's bring those up, both of them. How much do you want to bet this whole thing works for me off the bat? I'm going to say that's probably not. Only my luck. Let's tighten these down, that way they don't move on us anymore. Bolt the back tire on. You guys aren't even see it because I already did the first one. So, we'll get a fast forward time warp thing going, you know, and bolt this one up and see if this all works. 3. I'll make that jump. 2. Jump. First jump. Let's go back down the 3rd. Switch. Now let's pop it down to the 3rd. Yeah, second 3rd. Alright guys, finally got the shifter all adjusted. Turn this thing around. Alright, who cares about that? So, I don't know how I can see it now, but there's the bike. This is a huge seat on it. But here's the bike. It's all done. Now I can get you out of the shop and start getting some other things done. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, like, subscribe. Please comment too. I really would like some comments. If you have any questions, email me. My email's in the description of the video. So this has been a little bike repair video. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day. I'll catch you later. Peace.